Alright, time for a Christmas commentary. I got my material, I got my present, I got my family related avatar because his birthday's the day before. Now all I need is a backdrop. And... Really? Are we actually doing this again? What's next? Is my avatar just gonna be Gardevoir again? Ha! Take that, fate! And this is why I shouldn't talk. You know what? No, I want something else. Knowing me, this is either going to be a different avatar, a co-op partner, or it'll kill me. And also I'm feeling right about now. Wait, that didn't even have a zipper on it. How did it make that noise? Why am I even asking all this? I should just get to the intro.
Deja vu, I just been in this place before. Higher on the street, and I know it's my time to go. Going new, and the search is a mystery. Standing on my feet, it's so hard when I try to be me. Whoa, deja vu, I just been in this time before. Higher on the beat, and I know it's a place to go.
Can I at least have snow this time? Thank you! Before we begin, I'll admit right here that there are some details that I won't go too in depth about, such as the subject's abhorrent audio editing, numerous cases of stumbling, and other details, but I also got to this commentary after former co-op partner GWS got to it first. I recommend watching his video as well. I even made a cameo in it.
But you's a bitch.
Hey! I swear there's context to that. Don't know why people wanted to comment to that going, oh, I can't cover this anymore, because as long as you have something new or entertaining to say, why not say it? Though all that does mean I have less reason to believe that people will point out what issues I have with the video. Anywho, I want to be a good witch for Christmas. Can't be getting more presents if I'm on the naughty list, right?
Gentlemen?
Motherfuckers come on, 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 motherfuckers come on.
No, you come on. We both know what the better Thomas the Tank Engine mashup is.
2 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I like good pussy and I like good trees. Smoke so much weed you wouldn't believe. And I get more ass than a toilet seat.
And if you're concerned it wouldn't mesh well with the conundrum, 1, why are you concerned? 2, guess what else wouldn't? What you had before. And while we're on this frame, that ain't the title of your video. Mind actual consistency?
Hello everybody, Conundrum here. Today's video topic is on the Atheist Gamer 10. And, quite the uproar he's in. Well, Tag is the typical anti-feminist who tend to be a douche. Myself, I tend to believe in more of feminism, but I don't believe in the radical points. And believe me, I'm not like Nihilistic Snake, who says retard in every sentence. Hell, I think he beats up retards for the fun of it. But on the subject of Tag, his latest video on a feminist named Morgan TV was really deplorable, and I'm going to show you a lot of things that went wrong.
Be in mind, he did say that I bet $50 that she won't disable her comments. She did not. Tag, you owe this lady $50, and if you don't pay it, that proves more of a pussy you are.
Here's food for thought. Why should we? Spoiler alert, this is something that actually comes up later in the Atheist Gamer's video.
Go ahead, click the link in the description. I bet you 50 fucking bucks she disabled her raving comments.
So bringing it up here just kinda seems redundant. Plus, it's already in your title and your intro. I get that commentators will take things that are topical to the commentary and put them in the title, but any halfway decent commentator would also know to put it where it fits.
So, let's show Tag's video. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Roll that what now? Seriously, what does it even mean? Oh.
Hey guys, it's Morgan.
Gee, Tag, what's so funny? She said, hi there, this is Morgan. And you just cut away to you going, ah! Looking like a jackass, laughing at her, making fun of her.
Hey, you just answered your own question from moments ago. So you trying to ask Tag why he was laughing as if he had no reason, has no reason now. Not justifying why he was laughing, but you understand why he was, so the point?
Dude, you have room to talk. I've known you for a while, and believe me, you're no prize pig yourself, Tag, okay? So do me a favor, shut the fuck up.
You do realize that Tag not being good doesn't invalidate his remark, right? Forgetting you provided nothing to support that he isn't a prized pig. Conundrum, congrats, you somehow failed to debunk an insult. Way to go. Oh, so because Tag likely insulted someone's looks, that gives you the full reign to rag on his? Yeah, no. Have you ever heard of the phrase, 2 wrongs don't make a right? It's almost scary how much it applies to this commentary.
So the post on Facebook is, I'm sick and
Did you just bark?
tired of these feminists.
Why are you censoring yourself, my dear? Especially with a dog's bark. Granted, it's appropriate for you, but...
So, she censors herself because she caters to little kids. She's 14 years old. Her audience may be younger.
Teacher, I have a question. Where do these assumptions come from? Maybe she did say them somewhere, maybe in the part of the video we never see, maybe in a comment, but I don't want to trick through comments or tweets to see why or how you got these ideas. And even then, let's tackle your assumptions anyways. Now when you look at her channel, you'll find 3 videos. One of those videos, yeah, that one doesn't look like it's targeted towards kids, now does it? Plus, the way of censoring herself is pretty weak. How about instead of showing the majority of the word, use either a different word or use asterisks to cover the entire thing. Anyone who knows the word being censored will quickly assume what the word was. I'll give you a hint. It's not ficking, it's not backing, and it's most certainly not fire trucking.
And using a dog bark. Calling her a dog for using that.
Oh, now you're resorting to shoving words down his throat. Where did Tag call her a dog? He said it was appropriate. He didn't say she was a dog though. Most I can think of is that Tag's referring to her as a bitch, which could be seen as a female dog, but that's still some stretching needed to argue he was saying one thing when nothing we were shown told us he was saying anything of the sort.
Gee, Tag, you're a piece of shit for the beginning. You make fun of a 14-year-old girl, and how old you are? Jeez, you're that desperate to get subs that you would pick on little kids? Please, shut the fuck up. Again.
I'm utterly confused right now. Why would he be desperate for subs? I mean, I get that 2,000 isn't exactly the most, but 2,000 is still a respectable number. Not only that, but calling Morgrand a kid? Maybe she might still call herself that, but A, assumption, and B, let me lay something down for you. You trying to bring up her age and how bad Tag is for going after her despite being over 18? Appeal to emotion. Trying to gain empathy for your side by demonizing the person you're criticizing. Good job. Furthermore, it feels like you're just arbitrarily bringing up her age to try and strengthen your case that Tag is a bully. 1. This isn't someone who's clearly not a teenager, doesn't know better, or is arguing about video games. This is a high school student capable of cognitive thinking talking about a Facebook post regarding a generally more serious topic like feminism, so one would expect at least a little more. Hey, we've had commentators start at 14 and try to be taken as seriously as the rest, so why not her? I get that bullying her would still be wrong, but that leads into point 2. Bullying is wrong regardless of age. You come off as trying to get on Tag's case for being a bully towards a 14-year-old when, rather ironic considering the rest of the commentary, the big problem is that Tag, in general, is a rude dude. Is it worse that she's 14? Well, maybe, seeing as she can still grow and stuff, but what if Tag didn't come off as a degenerate? Well then that issue would be non-existent, since the more important issue would be non-existent as well.
I don't think my sole purpose on this earth is to have babies.
Don't reproduce! Please, for the love of Christ, do not reproduce!
Same for you, Tag. You should not reproduce either. God, your offspring would be a mixed breed with horse DNA.
Alright, which joke to make, Oh, I know! And it's for nothing which your argument is. O is for you two. U is for you and your pathetic repartees.
Together it spells no you. I thought you started with a Y.
Nobody asked you.
By the time I'm done uploading this video, she's probably disabled her ratings and comments. Go ahead, click the link in the description. I bet you 50 fucking bucks she disabled her ratings and comments.
You're not even trying. Is it because you know you're already a failure?
Claims the atheist gamer isn't trying, uses a media clip instead of trying to speak the point himself. I mean, I guess you're not wrong, it doesn't seem like he's trying, but that's not the issue I have. On top of that being irony.mp4, this clip is so pace-breaking, as if your unedited pauses didn't already do that. In addition, it's a poor attempt to be entertaining instead of relying on your own ability, or lack thereof, to tell jokes. Even if they sucked, it signifies far more effort than leaving in an unedited Steven Universe clip. Mind you, clips in and of themselves are not bad, but they should be used to complement the video, not take away from it. You're not adding anything worthwhile with that clip. Why are you here? Even worse for you, it's actually possible to give your clip relevance. Rather than split the string of comments and the clip up, combine them, like this.
You're not even trying. Is it because you know you're already a failure?
See, it gives your clip much more reason to exist, while simultaneously saving the audience time and making everything, oh I don't know, actually worth watching. Now before we continue, and this plays into my opinion on the video, but I'll try to make it entertaining anyways, let me tell you a story. So one night, I heard about this video from Gwiz. He wanted to bring up how 2010-esque your use of media clips were. I asked about time machines, wondered how and where you got one, and asked for a link to the video, but it was late and I was too tired to watch then. The morning came, I started watching, saw the clip, I still asked about the time machine, and continued. There's more to the story, but for now, I wished I stopped at the clip. I thought the clip was going to be the low point of the commentary. But no, it was only the beginning.
Well, Tag, she didn't disable the comments. I think you owe her 50 bucks. Even though she said 15, but I think you owe her 50 because I do recall you said 50 bucks that she disabled her comments. Well, she didn't. You owe her money. And let me guess, Tag, you're not going to pay her the money. And you say she's a coward? Nah, Tag, you're more of a pussy. Come on, Tag. She didn't disable the comments, and then you incite that, oh, my fans saw your video, and you're going to be disabled comments in the future. Dude, you're a bully, Tag. Admit it.
You make fun of this girl, make fun of her weight, make fun of her beliefs.
You know, where were they in the video? I may be able to see the fat part, maybe, but her beliefs were barely shown in your video, let alone Tag making fun of them. Tag insulted her, but where the heck were her beliefs?
Dude, you're a bully. That's plain and simple. Bully. Tag. You incite a lynch mob on these 14-year-old girls.
Is anyone sensing a pattern here? Through the stutters and pauses, Conundrum is repeating himself in the same interjection. I don't know why you are, but I know there isn't much of an excuse when you don't really try anything new with it. You'd think that maybe that'd be as good of a place as any to cut away from your interjection to cover Tag's next point, right?
Tag, I know for a fact that you have high function autism. You're on the spectrum.
I had way too much faith in this commentary.
And I bet you were picked on in high school, around her age. Look at yourself in the mirror. You never liked it when you were picked on. Hell, you still don't like it to this day.
Maybe he was, but maybe he wasn't. What you're doing is giving out an assumption based around his autism. Listen, if he was somehow picked on when he was in high school, then fine, your assumption was correct. But I can't, with good conscience, even think of this as a decent point when you're basing the speculation of Tag on his mental disability.
You ever looked in the mirror and see what you became? You became the very thing that you got picked on in high school for.
Ooh, I'm sorry, but that's not the right answer. The correct answer was, Tag became the very thing that picked on him in high school. Well, assuming that the assumption was correct to begin with.
Now, Tag, knowing that you're a coward, you wouldn't pay her 50 bucks. I'm going to do something better. Morgan, I think you had to deal with this piece of shit of an individual. To me, that's horrible. Now, I want my subscribers to go to her channel and say, Conundrum sent me, you earned yourself a sub. Please do that, loyal subscribers.
I get trying to be the better person and trying to give sympathy, but the end result here honestly feels disingenuous. She gained subscribers not for her content, not because she appealed to the audience as a personality they might like, but because she was bullied. Coveting her directly would be a much more positive way of giving sympathy, since doing something more relevant than giving her a bigger number that likely won't mean much when she continues doing videos. How is a subscriber that will likely lose relevance that much better than Tag not giving her the $50?
And commentators, I think this girl, even though my ideas do tend to clash with hers, but I do not stand bullying of any type. I was bullied in high school myself. And I can't stand it.
So that story from earlier, yeah, in the middle of watching, I was called for a family thing, and about an hour later, I got back to the video. Now, while this family matter went on, your video was stuck in the back of my mind. I already thought your interjection could put a drag queen to shame, but I wanted to come back and see you cover more. As bad as this was, there was going to be some light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, there has to be. No commentator even worth the smallest grain of salt would make such an error. Not even Nihilistic Snake, the commentator you name dropped at the beginning to ridicule, would make this error.
And Tag, do me a favor. If you want to make a response to it, go ahead. But I know one thing. You're too much of a coward to pay somebody $50 when you're wrong.
And it goes on and on and on.
Hell, you're too chicken shit to admit you're wrong on this. You're a bully. Deal with it, Tag. And you're not that far from where I live. I know you're from New York. Hell, if you did that in Philly, number one, you made a bet. You've got to make through with it. If you did that in Philly and back out, number one, we find you a pussy.
Oh.
Number two, we find you a coward. And number two, we would
Should I be glad you cut yourself off?
We would gang up on you and beat the living snot out of you.
Oh boy, I just hit the jackpot, didn't I? Conundrum. All throughout your interjection, you kept on calling Tag a bully for how he insulted Morgran and wanted his fans to find her video and act so badly that she had disabled the ratings. You go on for so long being the anti-bully Nazi, yet here you are threatening physical violence against Tag for not coughing up the dough. I get it, he needs to follow through on his end of the wager, but you wanna know something? You know what type of person would threaten others and actively beat them up to intimidate them? That's right, bullies. For all the comments you made about how you need to look in the mirror for something you assumed, why don't you? Not saying your throat holds any water after all the stumbling you do, nor should it since it's also one made over the internet, so by default it should be far less potent than usual, but you wanted to say that Tag's wrong for bullying, so why are you doing it? Is it because Tag's targeting a 14-year-old? Well, guess what? Being a condescending jackass is usually frowned upon regardless. At this point, I, at best, could call you slightly better than Tag himself, but that's not really saying much, is it?
So do me a favor, Tag. If you're ever in my area, watch out, because I'll be mocking you all the time.
Yeah, Tag, you better watch it, or else I'm gonna make fun of you without ever getting your way. That'll show him.
We've been spending most our lives living in an Amish paradise.
And she may have less subscribers than you. The only reason why you got all those many subscribers, because they're on that channel. They subscribe to you to mock you, to laugh at you, to see how much of an idiot you are.
I'm noticing another trend here, all of the assumptions you're making. I won't discredit the idea that he has subscribers that are only there to mock him, but I'm highly skeptical that all of his subscribers consist of that, seeing as he has over 2,000 of them. Especially since he markets himself as an atheistic anti-feminist gamer, I'm sure he's attracted some audience that legit wants to see his work. I get that's an assumption too, but it's a far more logical one than assuming that the entirety of his fan base is there ironically. Don't deal with absolutes. You'll appear smarter that way.
You're to us, the anti-feminist, the equivalent of individuals like Michael Rowlands, Jenny McDermott, and Lacey Green, the one you masturbate to every video.
Every video? You sure about that? I'm just saying, I didn't hear him drop Lacey's name once during your video. Now, maybe he did in his video and we just haven't gotten to that point yet, but then you could actually show that point. On that note, continue with Tag's video already!
So do me a favor, Tag. Shut the fuck up. These are my final thoughts on you, you piece of garbage human being.
Final thoughts? Fuck it, we're going bad with Conundrum, what the fuck was this? Seriously, this had to be some of the worst structure I have ever seen in a commentary. I honestly didn't think I'd get this pissed off at the commentary for how it presented itself.
Nostradamus
couldn't have predicted this fucking shit. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I was just being reminded of a video worth my fucking time. Oh, but you just wanted to steal the fucking cake, didn't you? Your interjection was so awful. You repeated things, you assumed things, you were a hypocrite, and you did not stop. There was no indication. You just abruptly went to your final thoughts. And why should you? You started about a third into your video. I can't see the length of the issue I take with this. Chris Taylor, with his first commentary, had a near 7-minute long point as well, but he didn't repeat, he brought up counter arguments, he was decently entertaining, and he knew how things flowed. All things your commentary failed at. There's making the mother of all omelets, then there's whatever the fuck this shit was. And when you believe me if I said there was more, oh, somebody kill me now! I get that Tag was scum in his video. I'm not defending him. But as a commentator, you should be able to make decent judgment calls with both how you counter the video in question and how you make yourself look presentable. Other than calling Tag a bully, you did neither. Why should I want to continue when this level of not caring for your own content is displayed so much? You confuse me. In fact,
TP, I know exactly where you're going with that, and if you continue any further, I'm going to your house and stealing all of your Oreos.
Fine.
Please. I hope one day you would just look at yourself and see why you don't have that many subscribers, that many followers as the Amazing Atheist.
Again with the subscribers? I'm sorry, I don't see the issue with having 2,000 subs. Maybe this is me having a similar sub count, but 2,000 in general shouldn't be that much of a problem. Especially coming from you, Mr. 190. Even if it's not as many as the Amazing Atheist, you understand the Amazing Atheist has been around for much longer and has been talked about much more often, positive or otherwise, right? You don't expect to build Rome in a day, you know.
Armored Skeptic, shoe on head. Because, believe it or not, even Bearing, of course, the one who teared your ass apart, the reason why, at least they have a little shred of humanity.
And what are you instead? Just a joke.
I'm pretty sure that's a Steven Universe spoiler. In any case, someone being a joke doesn't mean they don't have a shred of humanity. Nor does any of this explain why any of the people you brought up weren't jokes or had shreds of humanity in them. Is this another subscriber thing? Well, one, up yours, and two, Pa, stop trying to call the kettle a racial slur. We both know the type of language isn't allowed here, you
Hello everybody, Conundrum here.
Wait, did I just start another video? Please tell me I didn't. Otherwise, why are you going, hello, my name is, when we're 9.5 minutes into your 11.5 minute video?
I hope you loved today's video. If you do, give it a like, give it a dislike. Criticism is always welcome on this channel. I think criticism we grow.
He said it, boys! Woo! Woo! That's what saying beating up tagging Philly counts as, right? Does it?
Now, I have today's questionnaire for everybody. Yes, after this video, I would like to give everybody a little bit of a pop quiz on this. Do you think that—
Oh, so that's why your video's longer than it needed to be. You needed to pad this video out with repeating yourself more. Goody! I should clarify that repeating yourself is not a problem. The problem is that pretty much every case of you repeating yourself has been redundant. There was no need for it. There's emphasizing a point, then there's restating something to cover up for your lack of it.
Now, I will put More Grand TV's channel and Twitter in the links below. I would like all of my subscribers to follow her. Even though she's a feminist and we do have different points of view, but as well, we also hate bullies, and Tag was definitely a bully in this video.
And you're answering your own pop quiz. Okay, no, we're done. Before we get into the final thoughts, I want to talk about one thing I didn't cover until now, the visuals. And oh boy do I have a lot to talk about. I'll start with the dimensions. Yeah, despite being able to go to 1080p, you somehow managed to keep your video in a 4:3 aspect ratio. How? More importantly, why? This is something that should have been fixed since, hey, full screen looks far more appealing. More of this is covered up, and it falls more in line with the usual quality shown by both Morgrand and Tag. But a bigger issue is what you did with your avatar. Keep in mind who this guy is. The Major from Hellsing Ultimate, the anime's charismatic and commanding big bad, and a character which could provide a slew of decent avatar images from a quick Google search. Yet when I watched your video, you used 4 images. Such an expressive character, such a prominent character, and before the fan creation set in and only counting the canon source, you picked 4 images. You don't even try doing anything with the editing to make any of this engaging. I recently came off a video that had a single image on screen for over a minute at a time, yet that was somehow more visually engaging when compared to this. Yes, this had the images rotate out in less time, but what it did in better timing, it lost in diversity. Combined with how much you dragged, it made everything worse. Seriously, were you trying to make something that only the lowest common denominator would call appealing? Now from your intro, it's reasonable to assume that you didn't edit this conundrum. But in that case, both you and your editor are to blame. Your editor for barely even trying to go beyond the bare minimum, and you for letting it pass. Now to my final thoughts. Yes, you can make a case that the worst part was his technique, but whereas Gwiz covered his use of 2010cc tropes and poor timing with his delivery, I wanted to focus more on the flow and how it's the worst I've seen in a long time. Probably not the worst I've ever seen. I remember the target of my second commentary making one interjection and having that be his entire video, but to put that into perspective, that was Mr. Commentary, a 2012cc bandwagon that had obvious mental disabilities. Congratulations, you are comparable to that. You had 1 point, but with how much you hammered in that Tag was a rude dude, how much of what you said was based off of assumptions, and how you yourself were not above making threats, that point wore out fast. All of that, on top of the clips that broke whatever flow there was, and all of your stammering, only served to extend the video's length when, if you or your editor had any decent sense of scripting or editing, you could have cut it down by so much. Even just editing out the stutters would make your video flow so much better. As it is, it's the commentary I've enjoyed watching the least out of everything that came out in 2016, and one of the worst commentaries I have ever covered. Is this gonna be the person that kills me?
Together it spells no you!
Close enough. Merry Christmas.
But it's not Christmas.
Shut your face, yes it is!
TP, I know exactly where you're going with that, and if you continue any further, I'm going to go into your house and steal your